Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Ask Marc. We got like 7 questions for you today. You ready?
Let's do it.
All right. Getting right into it. Speedy56 asks, will it have car shops like Underground 2? So in Underground 2, there were different car shops that gave you different parts.
Yes.
There wasn't one master shop. So
For sure. Yeah. So Clay and myself, Clay, which is our creative director, just had a big discussion today.
yeah, you missed the.
I
This is
missed
the second take of this because
Yeah.
he was late for the other
We
one.
got way too into La La Land, and we got too into customization and talking about these sorts of things. And really, there's so much to talk about when looking at past Need for Speeds. And that was a wicked option back then.
Yeah.
So his eyes twinkled. He's like, yeah, we've talked about it. We've been in design meetings. It's on the list. Not guaranteeing that it'll be, making it in, but it's definitely something that we're considering. And I would love to consider being able to offer that, and with the customization system that we're looking to build in the next year or so, it definitely falls in line because we'd love to offer, endless amounts of parts.
Yeah, that would be sweet. Just continually keep it coming, especially like actual real life parts.
For
That
sure.
would be pretty sweet. So that's what maybe I'll ask that one of these days because I don't actually know what the plan is for that. All right, next question is from Tibiro13. He asks, will there be damage modeling in the game? So I think we've answered this question before, but we'll refresh it.
We'll refresh it, and it's actually cool that we're asking it again because so damage visually 100%.
Yeah.
Damage from a simulation side doesn't really suit this title. But
So hold on, but when you say damage visually 100%, are we talking like the damage we saw in Carbon or the damage that you see in like Pro Street? It's going to be more in line with what we saw in Carbon, right?
More in line with what we saw in
Yeah.
Carbon. Pro Street, we tried to go towards that. I won't touch on that too much, but more believable realism. It suited that, with doors and everything just crumpling. This is more visual. The cool thing is we're looking at durability and how we can work that into as we have these cool modes coming down the pipeline in the future. How do we work durability in? And I almost believe that will swap out the physical damage to more of like a durability, because this game is more about the strategy, so it fits perfectly. So you'll more likely see durability in the future.
Yeah, so that's a different answer than what we had before.
Yes,
So interesting,
exactly.
very interesting. Okay, this guy has more letters in his name than he does in the question, so I'm going to leave it be.
Yeah.
He asks, is the game going to have a story? He's just curious to ask. It's okay if there's not. So
For sure.
Yeah.
So what's new to this Need for Speed is we always have
The cinematic story experience.
FMVs and NISs and FMVs for those is full motion video.
Oh, yeah.
And
So that's like cross coming out. Yeah.
yeah,
Anyways, going
so,
on.
exactly.
Sorry.
So this type of game, what's really the most important part is the social aspect.
Yeah.
You're gonna picture you're racing against millions of people. What this game is about is racing with being a part of that world, being a part of the millions. At any point, you're racing with millions of people around the world. So what replaces all that cinematic approach is really the endless amount of game modes that we're bringing in, and that's the social game modes that we're trying to integrate, and the team modes. So
Let's not give too much away.
we won't give too much away, but the thing is we're definitely planning it.
Yeah.
Our fans want it. We're listening. We're in design meetings already. As we get towards launch, we're looking at after launch, how do we keep these packs that we're talking about 3 months, 6 months, a year down the road. We know you guys want it, so we're listening, and it definitely replaces that full cinematic approach. It's really, the game is about the social aspect. It's about racing with millions, racing with your friends, most importantly. And how do we as a dev team cater to that?
Cool. Interesting explanation, actually, because there's some stuff I didn't even know.
Yeah, little hints here and there, right?
Elzim asks, are there races for pink slips like in high stakes? So I think I can almost kind of take this one.
Yeah.
This is something that everyone has always asked for. I want to be able to race my pink slips online. I want to be able to give up my car. And then whenever we ask them, like, are you really sure?
Yeah.
They turn around and be like, oh no, I don't want to lose out my car.
So everybody loves the idea until you lose your car.
Until you lose your car.
So this is the thing, is we, again, talking to Clay again, the vision of this is how could we create something later down the road so that the players who have leveled up really high in their experience, they know exactly what they have invested in their car. How can we let them challenge other people but make it fair? Is it is it multiple races to win? Is it a tournament style that you race again?
Like
we don't.
like a quick tournament.
Exactly. We're still weighing out those options. If that's the case, if we have the capacity to design that out and actually implement that, so it's a fair. You know what? You lose, but you're like, man, that was a wicked fight. Then we're cool to implement that.
Yeah.
But not the fact that we're gonna. People are gonna be frustrated, right?
Yeah.
We don't want people to lose and be like, oh, that was not fair. We want it to be fair. So that's where our creative direction is focused, and that's what we're looking at if we do implement something.
Cool. Same guy asked another question, an interesting one. This is probably one more for Dave, but hopefully you'll be able to answer.
For sure. Yeah.
Are there non-licensed cars? So we know that we have some cars in the traffic system that are non-licensed. They may look like a Dodge Ram, but they're not Dodge Rams.
Yeah.
Are we going to have non-licensed cars in the game?
So again, this is something that I've done a lot of prototypes, having worked with the physics for all these years. I've been able to tune dump trucks, fire trucks, ambulances, log trucks. I've been able to tune all these cool, unique vehicles. So can we take it a step further? Can we do something with those vehicles that actually it's fun not only to drive them, but drive them in a mode, drive them in a race that makes sense. I think that's the bigger picture. Let's not look short term. Let's look long term.
Yeah.
And so we do have the game. We do have the cars in the game. It just requires probably a tuning pass for me to make them feel like they are, and then from our design side to see how does this work fit in our game. So it's on our radar. We've had these we've had that in the past, the carbon and all that. I remember you could even drift some of the
there was the dump truck challenge.
The dump
series,
truck,
right?
yeah. So we've had it. How do we take that and enhance it?
Yeah,
we always want to innovate and be better and cooler. So we're looking at it as well.
Yeah. Well, we have some cop cars that are non-licensed cars, right? Like the generic Crown Vic and stuff like that. Yeah. So maybe we can do something with that.
Maybe. And with, like I said, maybe with the modes coming in the future, maybe there's something there.
Okay, last question, probably the most interesting. We chose this one because it seems to be a very talked about issue on the forums right now.
Yeah.
No, not so much an issue, but just a lot of people are talking about it.
Yeah.
Appealsin97 asks, are you going to be able to get races without power-ups? So basically, are you going to be able to race without power-ups?
So this is just a different way of looking at it. Power-ups are there for your use. They're there if you need a little edge, if you fall back, if you're in second, hey, use one more lap. If you need to run traffic magnet against a guy who's way out, it's that little edge that will get you back in the race. The guys who are way out in the lead, they don't need to use them. So it's your choice. You're not forced to use power-ups. It's more of it adds that strategic play in the element of Need for Speed. So it's still the same old Need for Speed. You got to be fast. You got to if you're racing online, you got to be perfect through those corners to win. But this just adds that much more chaos and controlled almost chaos in that strategic. So you get in the future if you do if we have private match and you have you and all your buddies in a race room, your power-ups are there, but you can just decide, hey, we're not going to use this race in power-ups. So
let's just go it clean, right?
Yeah, just do it clean and do it on the honor system, right? So that's the perception is that power-ups are there for people to use at their discretion.
Yeah.
They're not for no game mode is like you have to use this power-up to win.
That's not how it works.
We specifically are designing this that good players, if you're out in the lead and you get traffic magnet called against you, if you're a good player, you can dodge it, and what's cool is you can dodge it so that the traffic kind of
veers the other guy behind you.
Takes out the other guy.
I've done that a bit.
That's super rewarding. As a guy who's like, I've used 0 power-ups, in a race, and I've still won. That kind of, it shows how good the player is. So that's the perception that we're trying to get out there is that, power-ups are there for your discretion, for your use, for your strategic gameplay. Use them as you like.
Yeah. Sweet. I mean, I think it should be noted too that what the people have seen in the beta so far is just a small slice of the power-ups that we're going to have. We can't get into too much detail about it, but you've seen NOS, traffic magnet, emergency evade,
you've seen the
instant cooldown. This is the basics.
You've seen the basic core foundation that we're testing the system with. What's very interesting is the driver skills, how the driver skills function with the power-ups, and some enhance or they're offensive or defensive. The driver skills that we have in the beta right now, at our desk, you've seen we already have double and triple, and we're going to keep expanding that list. So if you can imagine how strategic races are going to be, it's almost beautiful just to watch some races at our desk. We just see things playing defensive maneuvers. It's amazing. To add that to Need for Speed is something I'm excited about for the core Need for Speed players. You can go out there and race. You can choose if you want to use them, if you don't want to use them, but it just adds that much more credibility if you can, you know, if you're a guy that doesn't want to use them and you still win, hey, you're a wicked racer, it's clean, right? But it gives that extra little advantage to those guys who are, you know, if they make a mistake or if you're getting, you know, your clock cleaned by a wicked kid. We all have done it. Like, I've gone on the forums with these guys, or you guys, and it's like, you know, sometimes it's like, sometimes the best on a leaderboard, it's hard to get in the top 3.
Oh yeah.
Like, you guys are good, and I've been playing the game like for almost 16 years, right? So
I still can't make it up there.
So that's the thing, is like, we want to really shake up the leaderboards. We want it to be fresh. We want it to be dominated by the world. We don't want just a few people just always dominating. So this is designed to shake everything up and really have everybody play together. So
sweet.
Cool. Let's look forward to next week. Questions coming.
Yeah, keep them coming, guys. You know where to post them, so
We'll do it again early next week.
Cool.
Thanks, man.
Guys, one more thing I forgot to say at the beginning. We talked about neons last week. They're not cool. I'm going to specifically call out a couple guys. Kid owner, You Worst, High Boost Racing Club in Volo Diaz. Neon isn't cool, man. Sorry.